Unexpected royal move. Princess Leonor's arrival in Denmark stuns royal fans from Spain. Denmark's royalty at dawn. Spain expects protocol. Then, Princess Leonor arrives alone. Royal fans gasp. Nothing about this visit feels ordinary. Because every tradition she breaks tells a story. When Leonor stepped off the plane at Copenhagen's airport, the shock was immediately visible, not in her outfit, impeccable and understated, but in the absence of the usual fanfare. No motorcade, no grand press conference, just a few waiting cameras, quiet applause, and then she walked. As she passed through customs and into the soft embrace of Danish morning, the realization struck many: this wasn't a diplomatic courtesy call. It was something more personal, more profound. Spain's royal watchers, from Madrid cafes to television studios, buzzed with questions. Why Denmark, and why now? Was this trip purely royal duty, or was it the start of something new? At stake was not just a visit, it was a message. And Leonor's message, woven through every step of this arrival, raised curiosities that stretched far beyond Scandinavian skies. Inside the palace quarters, arrangements had been quietly made. Leonor's room overlooked the palace gardens, a view chosen, some say, to bring calm. Her luggage included 2 outfits, one formal gown for the evening gala, another in crisp military style she has favored in recent portraits. She carried with her a small gift, something handcrafted, meaningful. Those who saw said it bore both Spanish and Danish motifs. Not a spectacle, but a symbol. The first handshake, exchanged in a marble corridor, held more than protocol. It held recognition, between monarchies, yes, between 2 young people, also. The Prince of Denmark greeted her with warmth, a slight bow, a soft voice that required no microphone. In that moment, Leonor's often studied composure eased, her lips parted in a gentle smile, her eyes briefly meeting his in what looked like genuine joy. But the surprise was bigger than the meeting. When evening came, instead of the planned state banquet, there was a smaller dinner, family, close friends, royal aides. Soft candles, music that blended Spanish guitar with Danish strings. In Spain, pundits wondered, was this scale chosen out of necessity or intention? Was Leonor choosing closeness over grandeur? To understand this moment, we must look back. Leonor has spent years navigating expectation, public duties, academic rigor, military training. She has scarcely had a moment only for herself. Her upbringing has been carved in images, speeches, pathos. Denmark has appeared in her life through state visits, through European summits, through diplomatic tradition. But until now, she had not journeyed here in an unscripted way. Chained curiosity loops begin in her arrival, and unravel in her interactions. What does she speak with the Danish royals about? Does she address the public? Will there be a joint appearance with her Danish counterpart? What gifts are exchanged, what language is used, what protocol broken or embraced? Every answered question hints at another. Observers noted the coat she wore, pale, structured, with embroidered trim that seemed Nordic in inspiration but crafted by a Spanish designer. Her scarf bore patterns reminiscent of Spanish lace, but the colors muted, respecting Danish tones. Details, small, yet intentional. They speak of unity, compromise, of someone straddling worlds. On the walk from the car to the palace, Leonor paused by a statue of Queen Ingrid. She placed her hand on the marble, an unconscious gesture, many said, of respect. Some believe she paused also to send a photo to Spain. This was home now, across borders, this land, though different, connected to her by royal blood and shared history. Spain's media picked up every move. The absence of public speeches, the late announcement of this trip, the subtle change in tone. Some saw this as a signal, Leonor asserting independence. Others feared tradition slipping. Is it a shift in how the royal will engage with the world? Or just a carefully managed moment? Inside the palace after dinner, Leonor sat with the Danish queen, a motherly figure known for grace and wisdom. They spoke quietly. Royal insiders say Leonor shared childhood memories of visits to Denmark, of summers by the fjords. The queen listened, offering gentle encouragement. Leonor reportedly asked about traditions, the Danish rite of midsummer, the importance of hygge, the royal family's own stories, blending them with Leonor's Spanish sense of ritual. The next day's program surprised many. Instead of strictly cultural visits, she requested to tour a community center, meet local youth, especially young people with mixed national backgrounds. She spoke, informally, about identity, how being a princess of Spain includes knowing other cultures, climates, languages. The crowd, small but fervent, reacted not to royal script, but to personal authenticity. Questions followed. Will Leonor begin more engagements like these, visits without pomp, with heart? What message does this send back home in Spain, where tradition still holds strong sway? Is this arrival in Denmark a pivot toward a more modern monarchy? Photographers tried to catch glimpses of her schedule, evening gatherings, prayers, official meetings. When she visited the chapel at the palace, she lingered, touching carved wood, pausing before stained glass windows that centuries ago were imported by Spanish artisans. To some, that was symbolic, she placing herself in a lineage of art, trade, cultural exchange between nations. Throughout this visit, protocol was present, yet softened. Military salutes given, but with spontaneous applause. Formal speeches delivered, but with laughter, with references to shared joys. Leonor's own speech was brief, but included lines seldom heard in royal addresses. I stand among you not just as visitor, but as someone who feels at home in your stories. And always, family presence echoed. Leonor's parents and brothers connected from afar. Leonor spoke of her father's advice in private letters, her mother's calm strength in public days. Christian, if present, greeted Danish ministers with respect, shuffled translation, bridged gaps. The presence of personal relationships beneath public duty grounded the visit. When the time came for farewells, there was no formal procession. Leonor and her hosts walked through garden paths as twilight set in, waves of Danish citizens applauding quietly, not shouting. Flowers handed, handshakes exchanged. Then she turned toward the awaiting car, pausing once more to look back, a quiet smile. Spain's cameras caught that moment. It became iconic. By night, messages streamed on social media, admiration for her humility, curiosity about what this all means. In Spain, debates, is she redefining what it means to be heir? In Denmark, respect for her attentive presence. Royal commentators speak of this visit as more than political gesture, it might be cultural bridge. Looking ahead, what engagements will follow? Will Leonor take more tours abroad in this style? Will her wedding plans incorporate Danish elements? Will she develop a public persona less bound to spectacle, more to connection? Will this arrival mark a move toward a different kind of monarchy? As this visit ends, one thing is clear, Leonor's arrival in Denmark surprised not just royal fans, but the institutions around her. She didn't come to fulfill duty alone, she came to connect. She came to be seen. She came to change expectations. This visit will be remembered. Not for grandeur, but for subtlety. Not for show, but for presence. And royal fans from Spain watching tonight will carry this extraordinary arrival in memory, because sometimes the smallest steps make the greatest statements.